Hello friends and family, welcome back to our Watson Farmstead. I am Tim. I am in the grow room today. I am starting some seeds. If you watched our last video, Lisa and I went through and planned all our seeds that we're going to plant. That day I did plant some seeds. They're over here on this rack right here. Unfortunately, I had a new camera with a new microphone, new setup, and it didn't record anything. I played with it. I don't know. Maybe it's beyond my scope of technology, but I ended up shipping it all back. Thank you, Amazon. I love your return policy. But anyways, and went back to the handy dandy GoPro action type camera. It's an Picasso Brave 4 camera. Awesome little camera. I love shooting on it. The only thing I don't like is you got to have a wired microphone. There's no wireless yet. I'm hoping they're working on it. I've seen a lot of stuff out there in the blogosphere that people would really love to have that wireless capability. So I got my corded microphone, which is not a big deal. Anyways, I digress. So today I'm starting our second batch of seeds. It's going to be basically the rest of everything. I have several varieties of tomatoes. I don't know why. Our little grandson Watson, the namesake of our farmstead, loves Peppa Pig. And, you know, Daddy Pig loves his potatoes and his tomatoes, so I end up saying that all the time. Anyways, I got a variety of peppers to plant, and I got a whole bin back here of, I have carnations and dianthus plants that we're going to put around our garden structure this year. Normally when we buy them, this year I'm going to try to start them. They're good for pollinators, and they do keep some bugs away. I got some cauliflower and some strawberries that I'm going to container grow. I'll see how well they take off. I got celery to start, and I have several varieties of lettuce and cabbage, some bok choy, radicchio, and some other good things. So as I go through, I'll just kind of point everything out. But anyways, today again it's seed starting day. So since we have a wide variety, these seed starting trays that we have, they're 5 rows by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're a 5x8 seed starting, and then they do have a dome on them. So each variety that we're planting will get 5 starts. And our thing is, we don't know. Some of these seed companies are new to us. Some of them we've used and had really good luck with. We've kind of expanded our variety that we're going to do. Some varieties work really well for us. Other varieties don't work for us. Last year we had really good success with Roma tomatoes, because we do like to make a lot of sauces. But some of our other varieties, kind of like along the ones that are more saucy and slimy inside and not so meaty, they did okay. But we do prefer the saucing tomatoes, ones that are more meat, less seeds. So that's kind of a lot of the varieties that we're trying this year. So anyways, I'm going to get started with the tomatoes. Yesterday I went through, I cleaned everything out, I got all my heat mats set up. One thing that I was reading, that tomatoes, we knew about peppers needing a heat mat because their soil needs to stay 70, 75 degrees to get good germination. I did not know that about tomatoes. Having a good warm soil and not overwatering them will prevent them from getting leggy and being kind of real thinly and spinely looking. So this year we're changing our tactics. We're going to grow them in this. I'm going to keep them on heat mats. Everybody's going to have their own heat mat to sit on, and their own little grow light. So I'm hoping this year we have better luck with getting our own tomatoes going without them getting all leggy. That's the word I was looking for. I have me a big bucket of soil that I mixed up. I use, I was going to turn this around. This is by Kellogg's brand mix. We buy it at the Home Depot. But this is raised bed and potting mix. It's the pink bag. We've had really super good luck with that as far as getting anything to start. All our container plants all have that in anyway. So I got my container soiled. It's been in here for the last couple weeks. So the soil is nice and warm. I had my thermometer in it earlier. It was 72 degrees. The soil is 72 degrees. In here it's 82. I do keep it a little warm in here. Sometimes I think I'd keep it too warm. It got down to 21 degrees last night. And when I woke up this morning, it was 74 in here. So everything in here is thriving nicely. So the seeds are going to get a good start into some nice warm soil. So I'm going to fill up my containers with the soil, and if it comes up over the top, it's all right, because this once the seeds get planted and put in, get covered with the dome, they will not be touched until they all start to germinate out. Which I have on the tags, approximate germination date. I think I said this in our seed selection video that most seed companies recommend the germination period that they put on the packets is the average. That's why they kind of give you a broad range of 7 to 10 days, 7 to 14 days, whatever. But a lot of them, if you go on their websites and read, it'll say, allow an extra 5 days to make sure that it's going to germinate. And then after, so if your seed germination rate is average, and I always go by the latest date. So like on this first seed, the Atkinson tomatoes, it's a 14-day is the long day of their window for germinating. Add another 5 days, so 21 days. Nope, that's not right. How about 5 and 4 is 9? 19 days. Good grief, Tim. So it's add extra 5 days before you decide to start reseeding. Excuse me. So if after that initial, or after the 5-day extended period, if you don't have some seeds come up, I'll go in, I'll drop a few more seeds in each one of those cells and just let it go. So they may be a few days behind, if sometimes it's the whole variety didn't seed. I've also had them go, double the time that they've said. I've gone in, reseeded, to restart the plant, and then next thing you know, I got double or triple the amount of plants coming up because it just took forever for them seeds to come up. So it's just your judgment. Usually the seed companies are usually pretty good about putting on their website as far as if it goes beyond this date, think about reseeding. If not, they probably didn't take off. Try reseeding again. All right, so that's tray number 1 is done with tomatoes. And I'm going to put the cover on it. These little, saw one place referred to them as little mini greenhouses, which I guess they would be. They have these little caps on the top with that you can rotate the holes and not holes to kind of let air ventilate or not ventilate. said for the first, till they start to germinate, leave the holes closed. You want this thing to be as warm and retain as much moisture as possible. So there we go. We got this one to go. Now let's see if I can do this without dumping it all over the place. Here we go. Alright, that one's going to be home right there. Alright, I already moistened the soil. Again, Tim, you got sidetracked onto something, and guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to put my cover of dirt on my plants. So I got to pull that tray out. Do I do this often? More often than I like to admit. That my mind starts going somewhere else and forget a critical step. So I'm just putting on a light coating of dirt over this. I'm not going to water it. The soil's already damp, and it'll start self-watering. Oh no, I lost one of my things. No, I got more. I have some more in my box right there. Alright, so let's backtrack a second. We'll get this. Let me pull this out so I don't forget. Wow. That is a rock. I don't think I've ever found a rock in my garden, in my soil before. That's kind of wild. Must have been some I'm going to speculate that there's probably some kids playing near the compost pile, throwing rocks, and they threw it into the compost pile. Because I know growing up, that was absolutely something I probably would have done. Mischief. Gotta get into mischief. What's life without a little bit of mischief? Although getting older, mischief just doesn't seem to suit me anymore. Don't like the mischief. Like they say, getting too old for that crap. So anyways, alright, so my soil mixture, I don't know if I said it or not. I did, it's 1 bag of the Kellogg's soil. I put a small 16 quart, that's a 2 cubic foot bag, a 16 quart bag of seed starter soil mix from Haas, and then I put 2 handfuls of perlite, 2 handfuls of vermiculite, 2 handfuls of perlite, 2 handfuls of vermiculite in it, and then I have a Harbor Freight cement mixer that I use for mixing cement, of course, but I also use it for mixing my soil. Dump all that stuff in there and let it run for 5-10 minutes, get it good and mixed up. It helps break down some of the clumps that, you know, some of these bags of soil kind of get clumpy, but it kind of gets all the clumps out and it kind of makes it nice and smooth. So I've done that for years. It's a good way to come up with a good mixture, to get stuff in it, and that way, you know, it's kind of evenly mixed and distributed, so that way it's not such a big deal, you know. I don't want to say big, no, not a big deal, that's the wrong word. Get everything evenly distributed throughout all the soil, so you don't have a big clump of this here or a big, whatever here, there, because it didn't get mixed all the way. Because if you try to mix it by hand or, whatever, in the pot, I've never had good luck with trying to put some dirt in a pot and then put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then use my hands to do it. You always end up where a lot of it doesn't get anything and other parts have all of it, and it just kind of, just kind of makes it a mess. Having that little cement mixer, I don't know, I've had that cement mixer for a bunch of years. I bought it on sale at Harbor Freight. And I've more than got my money's worth out of it. Bought a whole bunch of them fabric containers. There's some of the people that we watch on YouTube were doing the putting in these containers, these fabric containers. So you could buy a bundle of them. I think they're recycled material. We bought a bundle of 50, and it was like $20, and you got 50 of these 10-gallon bags. And we did all our gardening in that. We had the structure built, but we didn't build the raised beds. We, like everything else on a farmstead, just you go along until you run out of funds, and then you kind of make do with what you got. And that's exactly what happened. Was putting all the money in the structure, and we're like, oh, now what do we do for raised beds? Well, let's buy some of these bags, and everybody's having good luck. We had really good luck with them bags, but filling up 50 bags with garden soil, we bought a pallet of garden soil, and then we bought half a pallet of this mix behind me, and I was mixing it together to get a good variety of soil within each one of the bags, and then put the perlite and vermiculite in it. But yeah, using that mixer, we did 40. We ended up doing 40 of those bags, so 4,000 gallons of 40 times 10. Is that 400? Anyways. Nope, we did more than 40 bags. Anyways, yeah, so that that cement mixer really came in handy, mixing all that together. And I think that's the year that we used, it's called Moo Poo. It's cow manure compost. And we've had really good luck with that. Although this year the store where we normally bought it from, I did not see them carrying it this year. Although they're going under some renovating. It's a local store. They're renovating this year, so maybe they haven't got it in yet. But yeah, the Moo Poo works really well too. Really good luck with that. Alright, we're still working on the peppers. These are sweet peppers. So these are going to go out in the garden. The ones that I have growing in here are my overwintering experiment. Are doing really well. They will not go outside because I'm going to see how well they produce by growing them in these little containers. Alrighty, our last peppers are going in, and these are Marconi roasting peppers. We grew a bunch of these last year. They grew really well. They're still in. We ended up freezing a lot of them because we weren't sure what to do with all the peppers that we had last year. Lisa did make some hot sauce, and I don't know what else we did with them. I think we gave a lot of them away. Made some salsa, put some in our different sauces, or different spaghetti sauce in our chili base. Just to add a nice flavor to them. Alright, so that's peppers and tomatoes. got these little herb containers, or these little 6-bay trays. I think Lisa picked them up at the Dollar Tree. Okay, the $1.25 tree. Because I think they were like $1.25 a piece. They're just 6 cups. They're self-watering, come in a little tray, whatnot. And I'm going to use them to grow some herbs. Now, I've had really good luck with herbs. We got basil going there. I got cinnamon basil, Thai basil, and Italian large leaf basil. Since we do a lot of red sauces, kind of like we do a lot of basil. Basil is one of those herbs that I think you could put just about on anything, especially with the different varieties. And they, I always thought basil was basil, but basil is not just always basil. The cinnamon basil actually has a little bit of a cinnamon taste to it, if you've ever grown it or tasted it. And Thai basil has a little bit of a bite to it. So I pulled seeds up, but you know what? I did not make any labels for them. And I'm back, didn't have to go very far. Ooh, the heater kicked on. I don't think I need the heater on. It's 78 degrees in here. Probably could turn that down a little bit. And there's my herbs are planted. I'm gonna spread the dirt out, make sure everybody's good and covered. Alright, and there's the herbs. Now I need to find somewhere to put these to get them going. Although, once I get done with all this getting seed started, these tomatoes are outgrowing the ceiling, so they're going to go down here on the floor. I could probably put them over here. Oh, I can put them right there next to the celery. Alright, yeah, then I'm over here. I can turn that heater down a little bit. That's not celery, that's lettuce. Alrighty, do I have enough room to get both of them in here? I hope so. Oh, my rhubarb is looking so awesome. I am bound and determined to get rhubarb to grow in the South. Growing up in the North, my grandma, my mom, we always had a big patch of rhubarb. Loved rhubarb pie, rhubarb and strawberry pie. Back in the fall, Lisa had ordered some rhubarb from Azure Standard, and she made a bunch of rhubarb, made me some rhubarb jelly and some rhubarb pies and stuff like that. And she's like, "How's it taste?" I said, "Oh, it tastes just like my childhood." That was so good. But she had to order it from Azure, and it's like, you know what? I am bound and determined. Since we've lived in the South, I have tried to grow rhubarb. They sell the rhubarb starts in stores, but it clearly says that, rhubarb won't grow in the deep South, in the, what we call the butt crack heat of the South, because it's so hot and humid, and that's not what it's, designed for. That's not what it's meant to do. So, this year with the rhubarb, I got it in 2 pots. It says you can grow them in containers. I got them in small pots now. As they get bigger, I'll boost the pots up a little bit. But if I have to, I'll put it outside once it warms up a little bit and let it go out there until it gets about 80 degrees outside, which here will probably be sometime in the beginning of April. And then I'll move them into the house. I got a place set up in the house that they can grow in there. It's on a south window, so they'll get plenty of sunshine. It'll be, we keep our house, 73 to 75 during the summertime, not overly cold. So I'm hoping that I can get it to go this year. I'm going to work very diligently to keep it alive and produce my own rhubarb. Alrighty, let's get finished up with our seeds. The last thing we got to put in today is, why did my table get all wobbly? We're going to start some carnations and some dianthus. These are going to go in the garden bed around our garden structure, in the garden beds around the garden structure. So we have a bunch of varieties of these to put in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, I got 8 slots left. Then we'll have to go over there. So. I have never done seed starts for flowers before, so this is kind of a new thing for me. Normally we just direct sow them, but then it's always, when you do them in the spring and it's finally warm enough, it's usually midsummer by the time they start popping up. So doing a start on them shouldn't be any different than any other. That was a big old piece of wood in there. Than doing any other plant or anything like that. So I'm hoping that they do okay. They should. So. Oh, the joys of having a corded microphone. Now the only thing I'm going to do different with these flowers is I'm not going to put them on a heat mat. I couldn't find anywhere where it said they had to be. And number 2, I don't have any heat mat. I don't have any heat mats left. All my heat mats are being used with the peppers and tomatoes. So it's plenty warm in here. It's still 82 degrees in this room, so it is plenty warm. I don't think I need. I don't think I need a heat mat for them. Like I said, I didn't find anything for calling a heat mat. So we'll see. You know the way it is. Sometimes when you get closer to the end, you just kind of like, and then you get a couple extra and it's like, oh well, we'll just leave it. So we get more than one, so be it. Alright, so we're going to put a little bit of dirt on the top. And my soil in here is looking a little dryish. Alright. Whip out the edges so that lid sits on nicely. Alrighty, and cap it and cap it. Alrighty. We are done with the seed start of 2026. Thank you for joining me on this. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. I know watching people plant seeds is probably not a fun and exciting thing. But I hear in a week or two I need to do a midwinter update, and I can show everybody how things are starting. Some of the stuff I put in last week, 2 weeks ago on the 11th, are really going crazy. So it's kind of fun. I don't know if I get more excited about starting seeds or the 2 weeks after starting seeds, or at the end of the year to see what, at the end of the growing season, to see what we produced. Kind of a toss-up. Seeing what our germination rate is pretty awesome, but also seeing what we produce is pretty cool. So anyways, again, thanks for joining me today, and I will see you on the next one.